I'll read some poems from a set called Between Delaware and Hudson. This is the second one, first movement on the Delaware. The movements, anybody who's into Tai Chi may recognize the movements as being very much controlled by that discipline. Her right foot lifts the wind as she leans upon it. It presses into earth, we go to bird together, she falcon at my wrist below the Revolutionary Tower. Under her wings as she flies, from my right wrist the avenues of air open to talon tread, and she has risen, height of a knee, relaxing and unfolding into a flower of movement. Streaking in liberation across the wide divide, the space between her talons, in wing pits leaves unfurl, the trees come to conclusions renting the light. Moves the other foot sideways, putting down without weight, begins to shift the body to the lure of the next moment. Trap of the whole migration, her wing spread holds the birds, they name their names in distant trees, the stream sings underneath. And her hands, loose at the wrists, taking their stance from mine, float up into the wind her talons make, far ahead of her sight. She draws in wings, plummets to treetop, pinions bend all summer in her taut embrace, bow of the mountains. Where is the arrow as her hands fall through the air, fingers trailing like feathers or tails of butterflies, colors like streams within the light? In turn of time, in keeping, tells me the names of all my battles. Her hands have come to rest across my hands. We prepare the next position. This is the fourth one, Blythewood on Hudson. This has reference to Robert Kelly. I gather Kelly sends everybody who comes to Bard to Blythewood, and he says, you write poems in Blythewood. You go to Blythewood. Since he had said, let there be a poem. What?
I was just saying, I was thinking of Kelly driving out in the car and sitting in Blythewood for a walk.
For a while. Since he had said, let there be a poem, whose wide arms encompass the gate, and whose world body I suddenly remember belongs to the order that might be hers, let it be so. In the octagonal room, her washing done, she takes my starved and therefore clumsy body into hers, breaking the rim of habit, and I scream with all the ghosts in the house, running my fingers down her night dew. Morning, the lawn-mowers power the gardens, the roses hum that are stars somewhere in her keeping are not yet out. The southern birds, mad with the north, careen around, daughters of Hudson sunning their backs in formal gardens, fathomless lawns. We wander through my fatherhood of her, everywhere she is taken for my daughter, that will not bond with birds, that will not wing me from moment to moment and recognize so that I may remember and heat in the gloom like a kiln on our return, and cannot marry her in any sense, cannot assume her skin under my hands. Delaware, Delaware of the golden back, father of wolfbane and mandrake, she circumscribes this palsy. Letting it be so, the rooms are empty in the morning, and the memories empty. I stifle under her sleep, wake and get up, walk out beyond the city's curve, never more to see her in this life. 5. She turns to the right, bringing the bud of air to easy flowering, leans forward on the right as if to fly, the left heel lifts, she is so vulnerable, and saw her as a child for the first time, who had been such a woman to me, muse in starlight, her nose in my affairs up to the hilt, saying, look at my beauty, the beauty I see in my hunger for this world, but could see only her own beauty and not another's, only her hunger protecting those wild foods. Then Then the internal wings that speak to each other of great goodness given mentioned that out of the mouths of sucklings, even she who had sucked at this manhood, the path of their own stars and the era's stars conjunct in time, out of these mouths our ends would come unlooked for. And we run, we dance, we fly around her, who are looking for the motionless wisdom, until her stillness gains us, and move and stillness both lapse into happiness. She lifts the left foot, extends it before her, the body gliding to face the future fully, and she troubles us with a growth of wings, an understanding around the head like an aura, speaking to us in the tongues of silence, the silence resounding in our skulls with the words we would know if we but voiced them. Rise of the spirit of independence, the tower this morning is weary, the trees are full of bird noise, but no birds. I shall continue to prove us.